Love you.
All right, so good to be back in Indy. How many knew that my dad's side of the family is from Anderson? Anybody know that? Yeah. Well, we got some Anderson people here, do we? Anderson, Indiana, yeah. Well, you can't move these. And that's why they want me to sit down, huh? Are they taped or what?
They're taped down.
Oh, they're taped down. Okay, all right.
Down before they're here.
Okay, that's all right. So
This one here will move like
a little bit, yeah.
one at the very end.
Oh, that moves. Yeah, that's good. Is that better? Or you like that better? That?
Whatever's good for you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so we're here. I'm here for the whole weekend. Again, like I said, it's good to be back in Indiana. So I'm ready for questions. You can ask me anything except about the movies or my personal life. Other than that, go ahead. What's the weather tomorrow? You know, first of all, that's a great question because usually, especially if the venue is connected to the hotel, unless I bring a family member with me, I never leave. I know it sounds crazy. So I go from the venue, with you guys, which is incredible, to the hotel. I'll have room service, watch a movie, and then catch up on my sleep. That's usually how I do it. But I was in Ireland the last 2 weeks for Belfast, Northern Ireland Comic Con, and then they call the south of Ireland, they call it Ireland. Not to be confused with the UK. Americans make that mistake. Anyway, so my point is I took my 18-year-old son with me for a high school graduation gift, and we rented a car. That's the only time that I really get to go outside and experience all the weather conditions and whatnot. But I don't know. I think, I really haven't spent time outside. However, when I went next door to the empty venue, the empty hallway yesterday to go to the bathroom. Don't tell anybody, that's the secret bathroom, okay? All of a sudden I came out, and this was a completely gigantic, same size that we're in today, empty hall, and all of a sudden it sounded like a train was on top of the ceiling. I said, is that rain or is that a train? So I ran out to where the loading dock was, and sure enough, it was coming down like cats and dogs. You couldn't hear it in our main hall because of all the people and all the sound. It was wild. And then so I peeked at that, and I think it only lasted maybe 5 minutes. Because when I came back outside, for the car to pick me up, it was dry. That was bizarre. I mean, it dried up in a couple hours. But yeah, that's the only time I get to go outside is if I would, if I take a family member with me, it makes sense. But other than that, I'm just locked in to the venue in the hotel. And the other reason why I do that is because it's my opportunity to catch up to my sleep. At home, 5 kids, grandkids, a lot of activity, you know that, parents, and I never get to sleep. So this when I do that. Go ahead, next question.
What films have you been watching lately? Seen any good ones?
Well, which films?
Yeah, what have you been watching?
Well, I usually watch the films on the flights.
Yeah.
To London and then to Ireland. Oh, I mean, you watch, I think a 10.5-hour flight going to London, and on the way back, it's weird, it's like 13 hours, because you have headwinds, right? So I think I watched 3 movies, I slept a little bit. My son, I think, watched 4, But there's an old movie, one of De Niro's, I think Scorsese's first movie he directed, and one of De Niro's first, called Mean Streets, 1973. And I had a buddy who was in that movie. He was 13 then. But so I just, whatever's on the plane, it's my time. I tried going to the movie theater, but it looks like I embarrassed my wife and kids. Because, look, you pay the money, right? And the ticket price isn't so bad, but you pay all that money for the concession, right? Popcorn, food, whatever. And all of a sudden I'm sitting there, and there's a guy behind me. He brought his sandwiches from home wrapped in tinfoil. I don't get it. Okay, if there's a big battle scene going on, right, open up the tinfoil and eat your sandwich and get it over with, okay? But when the movie you're engaged with and you're trying to hear the new dialogue. They're feeding you information that you need to hear as a moviegoer so you can follow the movie. And you know, when it's behind you, it's right at your ears, because here's the person sitting here, here's his hands with the food right at your ear. So, you know, with my family, I don't go anymore, because, you know, I will tell the person, you know, oh, look, I'll give them a couple minutes. Maybe they're just having a, you know, maybe they can't hear themselves. But if it goes beyond 5 or 10 minutes of this loud noise of eating, I'll turn around and say, hey, can you eat a little quieter, please? Well, you know, that's it. It's over. My wife is up and gone. The kids will say, Dad, you know. But yeah, I don't. For some reason, it's just maybe it's my older age. I just want, you know, I want to enjoy the movie. I don't want to be upstaged by, you know, homemade ham sandwiches wrapped up in tinfoil. It's crazy. Or how about the drinking in the big ice thing, right?
Yeah.
How about I don't know, maybe it's the Marine in me. I'm kind of observant, and I think about other people. How about don't drink the big, you know, 82-ounce drink of ice when they're trying to get you quiet. You know, it's quiet, there's no battles. Anyway, that's my thing. So I don't, normally if I do go to the movies, my family won't go with me. Okay, I'm alone. Okay, it's crazy. You guys ever have that issue at all? Or does it bother you with people eating ice loud or tinfoil? You do? Okay, good. So I'm not. So I don't have a insanity issue, okay?
I've been in theaters where people are like popping bottles. They're like opening bottles, and then they drop a bottle and it rolls for 20 minutes down to the front of the.
Yeah.
It's like, just
You
really?
see, well, here's what I think is the issue. You know how they come on and they tell you no cell phones, no talking? Okay, well, gee, they didn't say no eating loud. I guess I can eat as loud as I want. Maybe they need to bring that up, you know? I don't know. But I just enjoy the fact that you can be at home watching Netflix, or be, you know, on a plane with the big headphones on, and you do your own thing. You know, it's you. You are in control. As my wife says, you're a control freak. You know. Go ahead, next one. Yes, sir.
So it said in the program something about the reboot of Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
You got any scoop on us for that?
Yeah, the question is a reboot of Flash Gordon. Yeah, Fox Studios. They've had it in development for 2.5 years. And, you know, it's a funny vernacular or terminology, development. You know, usually movie talk, when you say a project is in development, it usually means they don't have the money yet. We're talking Fox Studios. Well, here's what's strange about it. Even before that, reputable producers acquired the option, the screenplay rights. I'm sorry, not the option. The screenplay rights. Neil Moritz had it, you know, producer of what, Fast and Furious, et cetera, et cetera. And for some reason, he didn't pick up the option, so it went back to the licensing. King Features first. Before him, it was Steven Summers. Acquired the screenplay rights, did not follow through on the option. Now, the reason why I think maybe Matthew Wiley of Fox will follow through with the option and, you know, getting it done is because just like Seth MacFarlane, you know, I got these calls from these who once were 8-year-olds who saw Flash Gordon as an 8-year-old, and I impacted their lives, and they grew up to be decision makers in Hollywood. So the reason why I think Fox is going to do it is because Matthew has a personal touch to it. And then again, there's no rhyme or reason whether you're reputable or not, why it does or doesn't happen. So hopefully, if it doesn't happen at Fox, then maybe one day I'll be in a position to get that done. But I did talk to the senior producer. His name is John Davis. He's done a lot of stuff, if you know John Davis. And I talked to him directly. He said, this was probably 2 months ago, he said they're still a year away. So, okay, let's do it. Next question, or statement, or observation. Yes.
Just wondering what, your thoughts as someone who was doing this before this big surge of comic book and hero movies, what your thoughts on this new, sort of newish trend are.
Okay, so the question is, my view on the new trend of Comic Cons or what?
Like the superhero movies, like Marvel comics.
Oh
Universe,
yeah, House
DC.
Evolved and stuff. Yeah, I know. Look, like again, I was a Marine before I was an actor. I just spilled tea all over me, but thank God it's not hot. Yeah, so I'm old-fashioned. However, I'm raising kids and grandkids. You got to be open-minded. So I am open-minded. I'm just kind of a stickler for good is good, bad is bad. Anytime anytime something evolves into, okay, now good is bad, now bad is good. I mean, our youth nowadays, I think they have so much more of a challenge growing up than I did. I'm 63 this year, so it was pretty easy for us growing up. You go to a movie and there was the villain, the nemesis, and there was the good guy, and innocence was being abused or attacked, and the good guy or the good lady came in, and there was some conflict and challenges that they had to deal with, but they defeated evil. Okay, nowadays it's difficult. I mean, I talk to my kids a lot about this, but I kind of like the old traditional stuff. I mean, Flash Gordon is kind of a hoot anyway. The first time I saw it, I mean, it's weird. You're in it, so you have to sit there on a screen, and you have to act like you were not in it. You have to be objective. You want to make it real. You don't want to say, "Oh, I'm in this movie. Yeah, look how great I am, and how great everybody is." No, that's not how I view things. I try to if I'm in it, I try to separate myself and try to put myself in the shoes of the first time audience, spectator, participant, whatever you want to call it. And so when I saw Flash Gordon the first time, I thought, okay, well, visually it's a masterpiece, but these special effects, what is that all about? That's kind of corny, that's kind of camp. Are they kidding me? Are we supposed to laugh? Is it real? This is it. So I try to make things real, just use common sense. Nowadays, look, there's a reason why they keep doing the big budget superhero films, because there's a market for it. I'm not a big special effects guy. I know from a stunt action type deal, you save money and save lives, by using special effects. But yeah, so the only thing that's evolved for me, which I'm not a big fan of, when I started doing, I've done 60 films, but more films. I've done hundreds of TV work. The reason why I tell you that is Ted was my first big budget in about, maybe 10 years had elapsed before I did my first big budget, again. And before it was cameraman, camera's right here, director always standing or sitting next to camera, directing the actor. Well, nowadays they have what they call a video village. How many people know what video village is? Okay. So the director is no longer next to camera. He can be out in the hall, inside a little canopy or room, in front of 4 to 6 monitors, because they like to do video playback. So we just filmed the scene, now let's play it back on video. Well, let's watch it. I'm not a big fan of that. Well, Seth, the dynamic going on with Seth MacFarlane, he's not only the director, he's the voice of the bear. So he's way back in another room, and he gave me a little earpiece so I could hear him. So every time he talked to me, I would say, "Is that the bear, or is this the director talking to me? Are you giving me direction, or is this the bear, the actor?" To me, it's a little bit impersonal. I got it. It's a budgeting issue, but you trained up cameramen and focus pullers to make sure you're in frame, and the director was always here to make sure, okay, I captured the magic on film. I don't know. When I start directing, I'm going to be next to camera. If they want to give me a video playback, fine. Give me a little iPad and I'll play it back right there. Come on. But that's what's evolved and all that. But I like I've done obviously a lot of independent, that's a fancy word for low budget, by the way, just to let you know. Yeah, I've done a lot of independent. Oh, you mean low budget stuff? No, independent. It's low budget, okay? And sometimes, and what's cool about that, I mean, you get magic with that too, because all the people involved are hungry, they're creative, and it's fresh, and they're not depending on backups like, oh, well, the scene didn't work well. We got a great action scene here, you know, guy being pushed off the building, you know. So it really, I mean, I've been fortunate to work with some really good people, and a lot of all over the world. I think most of my movies were filmed in other countries, at least half, maybe more, filmed in other countries than America. Right here, sir.
How did they approach you for Ted, for your role in that movie? And what were your thoughts of your very large part in that film? How did they?
Yeah. Well, again, you know, Seth called me. You know, everybody heard the question, right? How they approached me for Ted. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane called me and he said, Sam, when I was 8 years old, I saw your movie. It changed my life. I said, how did it change your life? He said, well, when I walked out of the movie theater, I knew I wanted to be a creative type guy. I said, well, Seth, you not only became creative, you became a bit perverted too. I hope I didn't have anything to do with that. You know. So he told me, he said, look, I have this movie about a cute little teddy bear. Yeah. And I want you to sort of, you know, do a parody, a spoof, making fun of yourself, Flash Gordon. Well, that was all fine and dandy until I read the script, and then we had to make some revisions and whatnot. But yeah, that's how I got on board. So I mean, it's a great question because I'm getting these calls from who were once young kids who grew up to be, again, decision makers in Hollywood. You know, pretty cool. So it's never too late. I mean, people say, I'm 40. I got a buddy who's my age, 60. And he's been in the music business for, I don't know, as long as 40 years in the music business. He keeps saying, I don't know, man, you know, I'm old now. I said, I'm in my 60s. And I'm not just saying this to tickle my ears or to tickle your ears, but I see me working until my 90s. Why? Because that's what you can do. I mean, we need 60, 70, 80, 90-year-old actors, you know? I mean, yeah. So I said, stop punishing yourself about being 60. I said, enjoy these years, you know? And my God, look at all the major stars in the music business that are still doing it, you know? Who did I listen to the other day? In his voice, he's probably 70. I can't think of his name, but you would know. I want to say, like, is it Bob Scaggs or somebody? His voice was identical to what it was in the late 60s, early. Anyway, it wasn't being lip synced either. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. Amazing. Next. Right here.
At the end of Flash, was there plans to make a sequel with Ming? At the end of the movie?
Yeah, at the end of the movie, was there a sequel to plans?
Yeah.
You know, I signed that contract for 6 sequels.
Oh,
Yeah, 6. But again, you know, it is what it is, you know. It's wild. You have, that's why the big budget stuff, you've got the financial people, you've got the studio, and if it's TV, you have the network involved. So it doesn't matter. If it's the best project quality-wise, it doesn't really matter because maybe the studio or network has contractual issues, obligations. I don't care how your piece turned out, they're obligated to this other person or entity or project. So yeah, there's really no rhyme or reason why they do or don't do sequels. However, averages are, 20, 25 years? I think, well, we filmed Flash 38 years ago. So it's time. Come on, man. It's time, you know. Yeah, next.
Have you thought about going behind the scenes? You sort of kind of said you might, if you were a director, you would do something, but have you thought about?
Well, have I thought about going behind the scenes? Yeah, I mean, but look, here's the deal. I mean, the 60 films, the hundreds of TV shows, have I officially directed a project? No. Have I directed or assisted, you know, or put forth my opinion or my skill set? Yes, hundreds of times, whatever, you know. That's just something that is on-the-job training you do. but have I received credit or that I directed this? No, I haven't done that because I wasn't hired as the director. I'm not saying that would be the easiest thing in the world to do. For me to direct, I mean, I do see things differently. I would bring in, like anybody else, I bring in the very best of the best, I bring in the best director of photography, cameraman, the best first AD. I bring in the best of the best, who, just like Seth MacFarlane did. People forget that Ted was the first movie he ever directed. He was doing all the 3 animated shows, Family Guy, Cleveland Show, American Dad, right? Which I had no idea. Maybe you did. It is a billion with a B, $1 billion franchise. Did you guys know that? $1 billion? You knew that? Even back then, it was. But he was cool. I mean, first time director on Ted. He was prepared. He kept a smile on his face all the time. Of course, he had. Again, it's all about having. People say that, oh, I did this movie. Well, no, you didn't do that. You couldn't have done this movie by yourself. He had the very best of the best from Universal Studios, the cast, Mark Wahlberg, the list goes on and on, in the movie that supported him, and everybody showed up and did their job, and it made him look good. But he created a professional environment, also a stress-free environment. It was wonderful, it really was. Yeah. Next. Yes, right here.
What was it like working with the cast in the movie 10?
On the film 10 with Bo Derek, it was great. First of all, it was 1978. It was, Blake Edwards, the director, who did all the Pink Panther stuff. He was iconic in the 70s. Julie Andrews, right? Iconic. Nobody knew Bo Derek. Very few Americans knew Dudley Moore. But it was cool. And what I got out of that was Bo Derek's husband, John Derek. It just so happened, we're in Mexico and Hawaii, I think for a combined total of maybe 5 weeks. So every day for lunch, it just so happened I would be sitting across from John Derek. And this guy, I don't know if you remember John Derek from the 40s and 50s. In 1978, John Derek was 58 years old, married to Bo Derek, okay? She was probably my age at that time, 23 maybe. I just sat there every day for lunch for 5 weeks, just conversing with John Derek, talking about all the old Hollywood movies. He did a lot of movies with Errol Flynn and how they used to do things, and the guy was pretty cool. He really was. But he actually asked me to do Tarzan. I think that movie was called Greystone. Miles O'Keefe did a great job. But I got the part, it was offered to me, and I turned it over to my management team, who blew the deal, and that was that. But it was just. John told some crazy stories that they just don't do anymore. They would do things. They're doing a war picture, 1948, 49, something like that. It's Errol Flynn, it's John Derek, I think it's Peter O'Toole. This goes on and on. And they had their lunch break. This is in Los Angeles. They're on a airfield using the military transport planes and all that. And they told the assistant, "Hey, we're going to take a longer break today for lunch." So he took one of the military transport planes. He went south to Mexico and came back 6 days later. Okay, and filming resumed. They don't do that anymore, And he told me stories about him and Errol Flynn and all of them, that they just drink and party and walk into all these bars, and whether they were in America or in Mexico, and people would challenge them, say, "Oh, you're a bunch of sissies from Hollywood," and they told me they had to fight their way out of every bar to prove that they were guys or whatever. Just crazy stuff back then. But no, they don't tolerate that anymore. It's all about the budgeting and the movies, yeah. Cutting costs, Believe me, that was a huge expense. When they disappeared for 6 days, come on. That means production was shut down, you know? Yeah. Oh, go ahead. He beat you to it. Yeah.
How did you deal with almost the instant fame after after Flash comes out? And I know when I was little, I was one of those 8-year-old when I saw Flash. I'm playing with my toys. I'm singing the Flash Gordon song. You're in your car. You're in the shower. I've got to assume you're singing that song.
Well, yeah, I probably hummed it, but they don't pay me to sing. And that's a great point. People ask me to sing it all the time. I said, well, my voice wasn't, you know, part of the Queen album. I said, they don't pay me to sing. I don't want to ruin it for you, you know. But how to deal with the popularity, I don't want to call it fame. You know, look, I was a Marine before I was an actor and a Southern boy. Florida, Tennessee, okay? Early years of growing up. So I don't know, I've never really, I mean, if I had any attitude issues during those years, it was just, I didn't listen to people who, you know, were probably mentors in my life who I didn't see it at that time. They talked to me about saving money. They talked to me about making wise choices. But I think I was still me. I think I'm still me now. I just needed to be, it took me a lot of years to be a good listener. A lot of youngsters tell me now, ask me, hey, I want to go to Hollywood. I want to be an actor. And my first question to them is, do you have a second degree or do you have a second skill set? Because it's all about provision. And when I start giving them reality statistics, 97% of all actors do not make a living. Let me repeat that. 97% of all actors around the world do not make a living. That means they're not paying their bills. That means they haven't, unless they're independently wealthy. So 3%, let me give this stat. That means 3% make over $100,000 a year. Okay, is that a living? Well, that was 10 years ago. So let's say it's $150,000 to $175,000 a year. That can, you know, for some people. Now you throw in the other dynamic. I take it a step further and I say, okay, you're in Hollywood. You're young, you're middle-aged, you're old. You got your first major TV series. It's #1 in the world. They're paying you $100,000 a week. So you're doing, I don't know, let's just say 20 episodes, okay? So what's that? That's $2 million? Something like that. I don't know. Is that the math, right? Okay, so that's only 5 months of work. Okay? It's 5 months of work. Now that $2 million you made, which you didn't really make $2 million, okay? IRS took almost 40%. If you have an agent and a manager, you're paying out 25%, not on the net, that's all on the gross. So out of $2 million in your pocket, you're probably getting, what's the math on that? 400,000? No, that's 600,000 or 700,000, maybe. So now, did you go out? Did you buy the $2-3 million house, and did you buy the Maserati, or did you go out and buy a $300,000 house, and did you buy a Ford or a Chevy? You know, because and I did all that stuff, and so you have to. I don't care if you're in the hit show of the year. 5 months of provision, if you're not deciding to live below that standard of living, you will be bankrupt within months. If the phone's not ringing after those 5 months, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. I mean, if you went out and bought all the big stuff. So, I mean, I did all that my first 20 years. Okay? Because I had people around me who really, you know, like, it's not their fault, it's my fault. Because whatever business you're in, if you have representation, you need to identify, they work for me, I do not work for them. If that's the case, then I need to be hearing everything when it comes to negotiations and deals and et cetera. And then, you know, when you have family or friends that say, hey, Sam, I want to borrow $10,000. Okay, well, here's the math on that. I have to make $20,000 to loan you $10,000. You got to think of the math. Well, how does that make sense on the math I expressed to you before? You got to make $20K before I can dig in and give you $10K. So once you start doing all that, boy, it catches up to you. And So when I start throwing those facts out to people, it's all about provision, it's all about paying. And I was so fortunate when I went to, I planned to be in the Marine Corps for my entire life. I started to play football in the Marine Corps. I said, oh, I think the NFL needs me. Yeah, the NFL needs me, right? So I got out and went to Seattle, and the Seahawks said, no, we don't need you, okay? That was a big wake-up call. It was 2017 when I went in, 21 and a half, maybe 22. And so I'm in Seattle, and at the same time I was rejected. I read an article about Clint Eastwood, you know. This was 1977, yeah. And I said, and Clint had already been in the movie business since 55, so that's 22 years. I said to myself, well, I don't know if I can accomplish what he had accomplished, but I'd like to give it a try, you know. But I had parameters, goals. Let me give it 6-month intervals. If I can progress just forward every 6 months, I'm going to give it another 6 months, add another 6 months. If I regress a step back within any 6-month period, I'm done. Well, it was crazy. I mean, I went there, I was smart enough to get a job right away, you know, whatever I was, I think a waiter. So, there. You know, I'm not going to be evicted. I got a job, right? And I'll never forget my first apartment in Hollywood in '77. This is the God's truth. I could lie down in the middle of the living room. I could touch all the walls. I could touch both walls with my arms. Seriously. I think it was somebody's hall closet that they turned into a sublet. I think, you know, it's crazy, you know. Yeah, I think I had to go out in the hall and use the bathroom, whatever it was, some little, you know, public bathroom there. But, okay, so I'm providing, I have a job. That pressure's gone. And I joined an acting class. So now I'm into what I should be doing. If you're going to be an actor, you got to do 2 things. If you're not trained in theater, you need to be in a scene study class and an improvisational class. So that's what you need to be doing, because that's what you do for your auditions and et cetera, et cetera. I'm in a great acting class. Within a month, within 2 months, agents or representatives are auditing the class to look for new talent. And I got a commercial agent within 3 months. I'm going up for big national commercials. At month 3.5, I booked a Schaefer beer commercial with the legend Jerry West from the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Imagine that. That was late 77, early 78. And I thought, oh my God, now you're getting these checks here. This is cool. But you still got to keep the job. That's the mistake that a lot of actors make. They stop waiting tables or whatever because they got a job, okay? And you just, you know, and I was so young and naive, I wasn't tainted yet. My naivete was Marine Corps, all that stuff was, so when I went into an audition, I never looked at it as competition. And it wasn't arrogance. I walk into a lobby area, and there were all these actors.